Going for a 4-4-2.
He didn't know what was going on in the room.
Elias managed to refrain from swearing.
He said, if you've got a problem with me, let's sort it out in the gym.
He's actually playing with our lot. The thing is...
Come on! Where has that come from?
Yeah.
They brought to the door. You know, you look at the...
What a performance. What, you know, the guys...
No, that was ruled off. Quite a stupid thing, but
Live from South Space at the supporters club. Right.
But he was getting a bit tired, I thought.
Come on! There we go! Come on!
Come on! Yeah! Go!
Yes, absolutely buzzing. Listen, before we continue, you have just witnessed West Ham beat Sheffield United 3-0 to move up to 4th place. But let me show you something. This is the league currently, as you can see. But can you see that? Because I can't see that. So hold on a second. Let's just remove something at the bottom there. Yeah, that's a lot better. Arsenal and Tottenham are gone. Can you see that? Because I still can't see that. Hold on a second. Let's see if this gets a little bit better. Oh, Liverpool are gone. Oh, hold on a minute, guys. I still can't see this league. Hold on one more second. That's a lot better. Look at that bad boy.
The reason why he said it's going to take 15 minutes to do the review
because you've been doing that.
Spent 15 minutes creating that.
Look,
how shit is that?
How is that shit when you're looking at your club sitting in the Champions League spot? How could you remotely be even remotely negative about it? Welcome back to our Highlights and Words show. West Ham 3, Sheffield United 0. Lads, buzzing. Talk to me. Still.
Well, you know, as I said, as we were coming off the match day live, if we don't finish in the top 6 this season, I'm going to be really disappointed because now I'm getting really accustomed. As much as we get used to and not liking, as much as we get used to being in the bottom 3 or bottom 5 or bottom 6, I'm now getting used to being in the top 4, top 5, top 6. And I want us to stay there. And I don't want us to slip up. And and all credit to David Moyes for bringing out, surprising us yet again with his team selection and bringing out a result like that.
Absolutely, mate. I mean, he consistently does it week in and week out. We see team selections. We're unsure what's going to happen. The next minute, none of us expected Benrahma to be left out of the team today. We're still waiting to hear if it was a tactical decision, if there was a real reason behind it, if he's taken a knock or whatever. But he's not. He's come off the bench and he's done well. He's done well enough to go and pack in 2 assists as well at the end of the game. I mean, it's just that it's a confident Moyes side, and I suppose that shows how disappointing other results have been, and that's why we have been knocked off the pedestal sometimes when we've played Liverpool, when we've played Fulham, Matt. That's why the fans are disappointed, because Moyes has changed our opinion on everything, hasn't he?
There was a comment, wasn't there? Me and Stell brought up just before in the end of the live video, and the guy said, he doesn't understand what Moyes is doing, because it seems to be he changes players, he changes formation, he changes the system, and we still keep winning.
Yeah.
Today he's changed it and gone with. I mean, what was that? It was like a diamond front three, like Lingard and Bowen in the middle and Lanzini at Cam, and it still works.
Triangle. It's a triangle front three.
Well, listen, I tell you
got
what,
rid of the width, and it still works.
Let's bring up the starting lineup. There we go. So, it wasn't just the fact that there was a few. Lanzini came in. Just take that off for a second. Hold on. Let's have a look. How do we get that off? Can you grab that off? Is that it's off? Yeah. So we've got obviously Fabianski, Soufal, Dawson, Diop, Creswell, Johnson going back to a back 5 with Rice and Souček. I'm going to have to just mute for a second. Rice, Souček just sitting in front of the defence. Then Lanzini, Lingard and Bowen in the attacking threat. Still, when you saw that lineup, come on, be honest, what was your thoughts?
No, the only surprise for me is 2 surprises, but for very different reasons. I was surprised that Diop was playing because I really genuinely didn't think he'd make it. So it's good to see that he's back. And he had an all right game. And I think the main surprise was why Lanzini for Benrahma? It's like I didn't feel negative about the team selection, but I just did sit here wondering why Lanzini for Benrahma.
Yep.
But other than that, the rest of the team, fine.
Thanks for that comment, English Ardy. Yep, we love you too, mate. Thanks for joining us. Listen, I said at the start, I think all West Ham fans were probably a bit confused when it came to Benrahma not starting. However, it was, if you look into squad rotation, if you look what Moyes does, it was still an attacking threat. It was still an attacking lineup. Matt, as we go into the game itself, it was a bit of a scrappy start, really, wasn't it?
It was a bit of a scrappy first half, to be fair. I mean, the start of the game, I said it was weird because both teams seemed to be happy attacking and not happy defending, even though both teams were playing 5 at the back. It was like both teams had never played 5 at the back before. The midfield was wide open. You could have got like a frigging tractor through the middle of the midfield in the middle at the start of the game.
Yeah.
End to end. Of course, was it 6 minutes in? I think it was less than that. I think it was 4 minutes in.
Well, yeah.
A penalty.
Well, 5 minutes in, what happens is Lingard linking up really well with Bowen down the left, and there's a kind of mistimed tackle. And I think it wasn't a mistimed tackle. This was the offside rule, wasn't it? The ball's coming across, and the keeper's parried it away. No, hold on a minute. That's the second penalty, isn't it?
No. So Declan Rice had it was a free kick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Declan Rice has a free kick. I think it went through the wall.
Yeah.
The keeper's parried it out.
That's it.
And then Dawson's got there in front of, I didn't see who the defender was for Sheffield United.
Stevens.
But as the shot was taken, apparently I don't have the sound on when I watch these games because obviously we're doing this, so I have the sound off. But apparently, I think was it Jake mentioned at half time that apparently there might have been a contentious point whether it was offside or not because the screenshot they used of Dawson was actually before Rice hit the ball.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter. Look, from the angle they used, it looked like he was offside and he got overruled, which was, again, I was thinking we're not going to get a penalty this year because it was like, one time we got given a penalty and now he's offside. We're not going to get it.
Yeah. So then, of course, not so much. Cheers, Phil. Of course, we didn't get our penalty and we thought it was, but VAR overruled it. But I want to bring up a point, though, about a specific player, and I'll bring this one to you still. Lingard, mate. Tell me about what difference he really makes for West Ham up top.
I said it to Matt, and in the 3 games that he's now played, you could argue that 2 of them, he's changed our approach up front because he makes the rest of the team push and close down right from the front. When he plays, because he wants to get so far forward, it feels like other players sort of follow him, so we're closing the opposition down a lot quicker. And that's the difference I think he makes. When he doesn't play, you kind of see West Ham just sit off. It's almost like they sit at the halfway line and they don't press from the front. Lingard wants to go and press right at the keeper, right in the faces of the defenders, and it makes the other players feel confident enough to do the same. So he kind of leads from the front. He makes such a difference.
Yeah, he really does.
Have the games. What was the second game he played? Was Fulham. That Fulham? And I think he was just tired because he hadn't played all season, and there's a difference between being fit and match fit. And so playing 2 games in quick succession, I think, took its toll on him.
Yeah.
So he didn't do as well in the Fulham game, but he's refreshed and he's come back. And you could see it in the first game that he played for us, and you can see it today, pressing from the front, really closing down the players.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matt, you've got today you had Bowen and Lingard starting, and very quickly we saw them jumping around. I think you said that at the start. You wouldn't be surprised if you saw Lingard moving up top, then Bowen moving up top. And like what Stell said, the triangle, they were all over the shop. And in particular, out of those 3 players, if you bring in Lanzini, he was the kind of least effective of it today, wasn't he?
I said it before the game. I didn't see why he brought him in instead of Benrahma, to be honest. And I'm still adamant sitting in now. He was the one that was playing a bit deeper, it seemed. It seemed like almost at times that Bowen and Lingard were playing as a front 2.
Yeah. And
Lanzini was sitting slightly deeper, but I don't think he had that much of an effect on the game. I don't think he offered that much. I don't think he contributed that much. Yes, he gave the odd pass in and the odd little bit of dribbling, but for the 67 minutes he was on the pitch, I don't think he offered enough in that team. Like I've said before, I think he's better come off the bench because I think that injury ruined him years ago. And he hasn't got the pace anymore, and he didn't have a lot of pace anyway. But now he's got no pace.
Yeah.
So coming off the bench with half an hour to go, everyone else is not as quick. They're not as sharp, and he can impact the game. But there was no warrant. There was no warrant for him to start today. Moyes gave him his chance, and I don't think he took it at all.
No, I agree. He didn't take it. No disrespect. We don't want to be negative, but I think you've kind of identified as fans. We've kind of identified which players are best suited to start a game, and which players maybe aren't. And we kind of say it all about Noble. He came on at the right time, at the right score today. And we always say Noble's a better bench player. We always say that about Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko's better off coming on the bench, making an impact. And I think Lanzini is the same. Like it or not, I think Lanzini is more of a player that can come on and be more of an impact sub than as a starter. And I think Moyes has given him enough chances, to be really honest with you. With the greatest of respect to Lanzini and to Moyes, I think Benrahma starts all day for me, but we not that we got away with it. Sheffield didn't have enough to.
He done
I don't think there's an element of getting away with it. I think that Lanzini still offers something to the West Ham squad. Now I know people will say, come the summer, we can afford to lose the Lanzini type of player, and that's fine, and I accept that. And no, I'm not saying you, but I've heard fans saying it. However, what I'm saying about Lanzini is that he still offers something to the squad. And if I can't help but remind people of when we played Crystal Palace back earlier in the season at home, he was the game changer for West Ham. Him solely alone came on as a substitution at half-time and changed the game for West Ham. Yes, we didn't walk out winners, but we drew the game being 1-0 down because we needed the ball-playing player. Benrahma was on the park. Lanzini was the difference in the game. So therefore, if you get a Lanzini performing well, my only thing I'll say about Lanzini is his best performances have been in beside a mixture of Fornals or Benrahma together. That's been where his best performances have been. I don't think he was awful today. He just wasn't the best. He wasn't up to the.
And we don't want to stick on the negatives because we won handsomely.
Yeah.
You know, and people will say these are the sorts of games that we used to get stuffed at or just miss out on and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly, mate.
Yeah.
So let's look at it positively. You know, last season we didn't do that well against Sheffield. What was it? 1-0 and 1-1 or something like that, or 0-0, 1-0.
1-1 and 1-0, yeah.
1-1 and 1-0. And now this season we've beaten them 3-0 and we didn't even look like we got out of second gear. You know, we kind of like I'm not going to say it was easy for us, but we were comfortable. So you got to look at the positives. But you know, I'm sure Moyes, you know, he's got a master plan. You know, someone mentioned earlier whether Benrahma was carrying a knock. If he was carrying a knock, he wouldn't have come on even for 10 minutes or 5 minutes or however long it was.
Wouldn't have risked him at the end, would you?
You wouldn't have risked him, no. So it was a tactical decision. It's just that we know that if you compare Benrahma to Lanzini, and you said it, Matt, the last 10 minutes of the game, Benrahma did more in the last 10 minutes than Lanzini did, you know, for the 60 odd that he was on. You compare them like for like. Benrahma's got the pace, he's got the skill, and Benrahma's got a killer pass. You know, we know he can do that, and it's just like, you know, if anything niggles me on a 3-0 win, that would be it. But I mean, lads, we're just nitpicking.
Yeah, but let me progress into the game. 39th minute kicks on. Lanzini, of all players, collects the ball and starts the break. I think he feeds in to Bowen, who then feeds Lingard, and Lingard just drives forward. He is taking on players. He's going forward. He gets into the box, and Basham absolutely bashes him out of. You know, I'm actually quite surprised, and I'd like to know why that wouldn't be a red card for Basham. He was given a yellow card. West Ham got our first ever penalty against them, but I would just no. I know you're doing that still, but it's the consistency in refereeing, and this is what I want to understand. He is absolutely taking out Lingard, and I just want to understand the rules and the reasons why they're not re-looking at that and going red card. However, we've walked away with the penalty, and we're sitting there as fans. We already knew from the first penalty decision when Declan Rice held the ball, he was going to be stepping up. Lingard was wanting the ball. Declan
He
Rice
did
went
want
over, set him right, and Declan Rice stepped up. And what happened then? Still,
I tell you what, that is good captaincy. He went up to Lingard and he went, "Sorry, mate, this is what's been agreed," or whatever it is he said to him. I've been nominated the penalty taker. I know I've never taken a professional penalty in my life, but hey.
Hey, it was a good penalty, so you can see why he took it.
It was a close penalty. The keeper was,
He was nowhere
almost
near it.
there.
yeah, I don't
Right,
think he was. I think what's good about the fact that Declan Rice. I mean, listen,
Right in
we're
the corner.
not shy
It
of
was in the
knowing.
corner. Yeah, it
We're
was in the
not.
corner.
We're not shy of knowing that Declan Rice is absolutely capable of whipping a ball. We know he's a clever footballer. So when he steps up for the penalty, I've got the confidence in him to pick that corner. And I know the keeper dived the right way. The thing is, he actually pinpoint perfect right into that corner, the total area where you want to put it. And fair play, stepped up, got the goal. West Ham are 1-0 up, and we've gone in on the halfway with 1-0 up. I mean, what are we thinking at half time, Matt?
I was just going to say about the penalty. Isn't there like some unspoken rule that the guy that gets fouled doesn't take the penalty? Isn't that some like superstition that players have?
Well, I don't know about that.
Like you rarely see it. That a player
I've seen many strikers go down and then pick the ball up and
adamant they're going to take it.
Aguero and players like that. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a superstition there.
Tell you what, though, here's an interesting one for you. In his 137th appearance for West Ham, Rice has scored his first penalty of his career and his fourth goal for West Ham. So there you
Great,
go,
thanks
Matt.
for that.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Our first penalty since Antonio at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
Our first penalty of the season.
Yeah,
and since Antonio at Old Trafford.
And the irony,
Last
we
season.
probably should have had one a lot earlier in the game. So,
But we've gone in at half time, lads. We're 1-0 up. We're sitting here thinking, doing a match day live, thinking, do we do anything? With the only player we can pick up on, if we had to pick up on it, was the fact that maybe we thought Lanzini, but we knew Lanzini, there wouldn't be a change. But then, maybe we inspired the West Ham attack because we gave the fans something to go for. Scott Randall, we won a signed West Ham top, authentic Umbro, signed by the whole squad top. We asked you all to give us the minute of the first substitution. And still, what was the minute, mate? What was the first substitution minute?
63rd, I think.
The 62 and 30 something seconds, wasn't it?
But I'll tell you what, it was close because he only came on literally about 5-10 seconds before the 62nd minute went up. So well done, Scott. I don't know if you're here, mate. He's probably... But like I keep saying, sorry about the crayon smudges, Scott. It's Anton's kids.
Listen, we'll just mute still. He's talking and we'll just mute. So, Matt, as we continue with the game, listen, I mean, the biggest threat really for Sheffield United was McGoldrick. We had Nick on from the Sheffield United way. They play every single ball through him, don't they? Every single bit of play comes through that one outlet. But that one outlet's not just up top, not just in the middle. He's left, he's right, he's everywhere for a what? Early 30-year-old player. He is typically a David Moyes player, isn't he?
Oh, he's a workhorse, isn't he? Give him credit where it's due. He said he was everywhere. Everything went through him. But the only way they're really going to score was like the set pieces or like a cross in.
Yep.
It didn't look like they had the ability to pass through us. Balls over the top weren't really upsetting us. It was more just down the channels putting crosses in.
Yeah.
But of course, I think just before Noble came on, we put in a second goal, didn't we?
Well, just about to say, so that brings me on nicely for the corner. In the 58th minute, Creswell pings in a ball. Still, this man himself, Issa Diop, up there, front post, bosses the ball into the bottom right-hand corner. What was your thoughts on the goal and then Diop's performance?
I was worried about his bump coming up again when he headed that ball in. Brilliant. I mean, that will give Diop a massive amount of confidence, I think. I hope so anyway, because he didn't play that bad, but he didn't play brilliantly. But, for the two players that needed to prove their points tonight about maintaining their place in the first 11, I reckon Diop maybe edged it over Lanzini, played okay, great goal, really well taken goal, actually. And great corner. Creswell has finally started to beat, do you remember last season, Creswell couldn't beat the first player on corners and crosses and free kicks and stuff like that. Always went to the first player's head. And he's doing it now. And beautiful outswinger. And Diop caught it just, great. Brilliant.
Yep.
By the way, did I say we're fourth?
We are, mate. We are. Something that maybe another stat for you guys. No team has scored more goals from corners in the Premier League this season than West Ham with 8, whilst no side has conceded more goals in this manner this term than Sheffield United, 8 as well. So, we made the most of the set pieces, which we've been doing all season. But listen, when it comes to Diop's performance, I mean, Matt, he was shaky at the start. There's no ifs or buts about it. He was playing dodgy balls out wide. And I think someone had made a comment saying that the commentators on the TV were saying his head was up in the clouds, but he warmed up to the game, didn't he?
I think he grew as the game went on. But I'll give you another stat. We are the king, not just of the corners, but we're the king of the set pieces. So we'd scored from 12 set pieces before today.
Yeah.
So you chuck another corner and a penalty, that's 14 set pieces we scored from this year.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
God, feels like we're under Allardyce all over again, doesn't it?
And you know what? I'm not complaining though, because I remember back on the days of like Pellegrini and Bilic, we just never scored.
Yeah,
but we rarely score from a set piece, and you just think we're just crossing it in for nothing because no one's going to get ahead on it. There's no, but they must train stuff because the amount of times we now win the headers in the box, they're clearly doing something on the training pitch. Maybe it's Kevin Nolan. But
Matt, dissect Diop for me. Talk to me about Diop. What was your thoughts?
I say he started slow, didn't he? Like at the first half, he was shaky. He'd do something good, and he was like the old 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Like he'd come out and make a really good interception, and then drive forward with the ball, and he'd have the easy 5-yard pass, and he'd put it out for a throw in. And it was one of them. But I think he slowly grew in. I think, like Stel said, though, I think the goal will give him a massive boost of confidence. Yeah. Once we got that 2-0 and everyone seemed to settle down a bit, I think that sort of, not just the goal because he scored it, but I think the scoreline gave him that confidence that I think maybe he was still on edge from playing under Pellegrini last year, where if he made a mistake, it would have been a goal because that's what seemed to happen under Pellegrini. Every time he made a mistake, the other team scored. Whereas now we're more solid, but it seemed like he was still playing under that mentality. Like he hasn't featured a lot this year. And whereas Dawson's just solid. Ogbonna's been solid. Even Creswell when he's gone in the back three. Well, but it's like Diop was still playing that mentality of last year. But as the game grew on, he grew more confidence and started to cut out the crosses, win the tackles, and then start passing the ball.
Still, that brings me on to the fact that how have West Ham adapted from being 4 at the back to 5 at the back? And the second lead question from that is, talk to me about Craig Dawson, mate.
Dawson, ironically, just had a quiet, solid game. He wasn't standout today. He didn't need to be.
Oh, mate, come on.
No.
He was absolutely dominating.
Wait. I don't think Sheffield gave us enough problems at the back. So that's what I mean by he was solid. He did his job. He was decent. To the level that we expect. But Sheffield didn't really come at us to really put our defence under that intense pressure. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was rubbish. You misunderstood. I just said it was solid but great. And he's become. You can see why Dawson has kept his place alongside Ogbonna. They are the two best defenders at West Ham at the moment. All credit to him. I just don't think Sheffield gave us that many problems for me to say Dawson was standout today. That's all.
Matt, you've just done him a massive disservice.
Yeah.
Why? No. I didn't say it was rubbish. No. There you go. Yeah. I agree. He was solid, but been better. There you go.
There's only one person agreeing with you.
I'm sure others will come along as well.
He ran that defence.
He did.
I'm not suggesting otherwise.
He's not even the club player. He's on loan from Watford. And he was the guy that ran that back 5.
You misunderstand. I didn't say he had a bad game, did I? I didn't say. What I'm saying was, for the games that we've had over the part throughout this season, he didn't need to. He didn't need to. Exert himself, did he? He was just decent. Dawson was okay.
He done it a different way,
exactly.
He was
starting on Dawson because Arthur's in.
But listen, I have to say something to I get what you're trying to say, Stel. I know you're not saying he was bad.
There you go.
He wasn't. You're saying he wasn't tested.
but it
all
wasn't tested. It wasn't tested.
Whereas
Yeah.
I'm saying he was actually he was really effective on the crosses
I'm right.
coming out. Yeah, but then look at the next one.
Yeah, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. Jay doesn't know.
There
what
we
he's
go.
talking
There's
about.
a new name for you, still Austin.
Where's the kid gone that talks all the sense?
But listen, all I'm saying to you is how dominating, and I still can't get my head around the fact that he's come into the fold as the kind of underdog defender, the player that we never thought would get near the first team, and he's now solidified his position completely.
Absolutely.
And when you watch him today, and I said to you, Matt, in the first half in particular, didn't I? I said, watch him. He's talking. He's constantly talking. He's driving the players out.
The back.
He
back
commands it. Yeah.
Look at that comment. I guess that's the sort of thing I meant. Sheffield. We did say throughout the game, Sheffield had quite a few chances, but they just didn't. They didn't have their scoring boots on or their heading boots.
Controversial still.
Let's not forget what Diop
Dawson
played
did
against
well.
Palace. Don't forget how Diop played against Palace. They did have some headers, but the thing is, you're saying about headers. Let's not forget this is a team that's built on set pieces. Their thing is winning headers.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
if they won no headers, then you might as well sack Wilder now and get someone else in.
But if they won no headers, if Dawson beat them to every single header, you would have gone. Dawson's had a blinder. It just
if
wasn't
won
that
every
sort of
single header,
game.
I'd be worried that Dawson was out of position because he's a centre of a back three. He should be winning.
Listen, let's move on from the Dawson
win every header.
Still, you're trying to get out your hole. Matt's digging your hole further.
I'm not. Absolutely not. There's no hole to get out of. There's no hole.
He can't mark the goals you get in front purse and Billy Sharp.
Listen, Stato, get back in your pram. Come on, and let
that's what
Anton stop winding you up. Yeah, look, Alf. Well done, Alf. We rode our luck tonight. Better finishing from Sheffield, we would have lost. I say no more.
You want to go down that road? I could say that for about half the games we've had this year.
Well, and it will be true. It would be true.
Listen,
so there you go.
I want to move on. Ben Rama came on as a substitution in the second half and made a bit of a difference. What was your thoughts on Ben Rama's performance? Still,
well,
wasn't very good. Was he?
I don't want to be negative, but he did better in the 10 minutes that he was on than Lanzini did in the 60-odd minutes that he was on. So I still don't get why Ben Rama didn't start. People suggested he might have been carrying a niggle, but as Matt and I agreed, if he was, then he wouldn't have played even for 10 minutes. So I don't understand it. I think Ben Rama's a lively little player, and he's only going to get better and better. And I'm glad that he was on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then finally, West Ham in the last couple of minutes, Fredericks comes on as a substitution. Matt, talk me through the goal, mate.
Oh, well, you missed out the main man, didn't you? You haven't spoke about Mr. West Ham coming on.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I thought we did mention him earlier.
Well, that's typical Anton, isn't it, really?
Come on.
We'll
just mute him. Come on, Matt, talk to me.
So Ben Rama come on. I agree with Stewart. I think Ben Rama, I said it on a live one, I think Ben Rama done more in 10 minutes than Lanzini did in 67. And then Fredericks come on, and Fredericks was a bit of a surprise one because we all thought as well that he was going to come on for Bowen because that's sort of been Moyes' weird niche sub that he's now developed where I'll bring Fredericks off of Bowen and he can go play on the right wing. But instead, he sort of filled in at left wing back for Johnson, just to tire the game out. And out of nowhere, popped up and stuck one in the bottom corner. I don't know what he was doing that far up the pitch. I don't know why he was that far tucked inside. Maybe that's because he's a right back and he was trying to go over the other side of the pitch. But decent finish, though.
Yeah.
And I can't really remember him doing much apart from that, but we didn't need to. It was sort of, I think once we got to the 89th minute, 90th minute, I think Sheffield United knew that the game was up. And they seemed like they were almost happy for a 2-0, and then we somehow popped up and scored a third. They'd done the David Moyes went, we'll take the 2-0, and then we scored another one. But no, it was a composed finish from Fredericks. Cutting on his right foot, low. Keeper might not be happy about it because it was his near post.
And I've got a theory. He put Fredericks on at left wing back. I wonder if Fredericks will start as left wing back against Spurs.
Well, I think we were saying this, and I can't remember what point when I came on at the end there. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if we see him stick with the same formation, but put Fredericks and Johnson on, because if you think about the second half against United, we did did kind of cause them more problems in the second half, especially in the second half than we did in the first half. And Tottenham are there for the taking. Like,
I agree.
But just as West Ham are there for the taking as well. But
Well,
Tottenham
I
are
don't
there
think we
for the
are.
taking.
I think we're solid. Another clean sheet today,
Another
which
clean
is
sheet,
good.
massive deal, yeah.
And I just hope Moyes doesn't go and start, respecting Spurs too much. Let's not forget what happened to us when he tried to go defensive. We were 3-0 down after 16 minutes against them.
Yeah.
And I just
Difference
hope to God
was they were playing well at the time. They're playing awful now.
they are playing awful, but they're that niggly, horrible team that now if they go a goal up, you could almost almost think that they'll keep that against us. So I wonder what was that comment? Ben Rama
is so good.
Even got Frederick scoring.
I wouldn't be surprised if Fredericks. I think Johnson actually had a really decent game today, but I wouldn't be surprised if Fredericks starts against Spurs. I don't know why.
It just gives Moyes an option, doesn't it? Like we said, Arthur's still away from coming back, and if he wants to persist with the five at the back again, he needs options.
As I said at the beginning of match day, we're doing all right without Arthur. Let's not keep talking about a player that's gone.
I tell you what, the fact is, if Arthur comes back, it gives us another option, and that's what we need, and it's good to have those options.
Isn't it?
A player I want to talk about though is Soufal. I made the comment in the first half that I think he's been kind of missing for the last couple of games. And I think he was kind of missing in the first half. He got a little bit better in the second half. Do you think there's a little bit of fatigue setting in there? I think he's played so much, and because he gives, he's borderline being one of the best defenders in the Premier League. And do you think that's kind of catching up with him a little bit? And we may see a little bit of a change coming on for the Tottenham game, and maybe give a player like Soufal a rest, or is that too risky when it comes to Moyes?
No way, mate. No way. Soufal is starting against Spurs. There's no way he'll be rested. Absolutely not. I think a bit like go on, shoot me down. A bit like Dawson, he was solid, nothing special. He played the game that he needed to play. And he was all. He was. Oh, thank you.
But I think we were talking about this in a live video, weren't we? We answered it, and everyone was like, "Oh, he set himself a very high standard how he's played this year." And it was a game where he did seem like maybe he was a little bit more leggy, but he still put in a very good 7 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
He just wasn't like the 8s or 9s that he'd been doing earlier in the season.
Neil T, I'm not digging him out, mate. I'm not digging him out.
Yes, he is. Just like he thought I was digging out Dawson.
Yeah, but you were.
No, I weren't. Here's an interesting comment. Bowen did all right, just doesn't have the electric pace. Now, I just wonder, Bowen might be the player that might be sacrificed against Spurs. Because people are getting at him. He didn't have another player that had a great game today.
The but thing is, though, we need to remember is that Moyes will look at different sides and what they've got. They've got an attacking threat. They've got Kane. They've got Son. They've got all their options. And even though we can get at them, we're probably going to need players that can cover so much ground. This is maybe where Fornals comes back into the side and starts to do what he's been doing all season. And this is where I think we'll start to see some tactical changes by Moyes, especially for the Spurs game. And fair play to Moyes for turning Benrahma into that guy that covers so much ground. But I wouldn't even be surprised if we see potentially Benrahma, Fornals in for Bowen and Lanzini.
Do you know what? That's a really good point.
Shout.
Yeah. I think he's going to... I wouldn't be surprised if Fredericks, Fornals and Benrahma start. Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised. Because as you guys have said, Fredericks offers that. He offers that attack, but he also now, as we've seen, offers something going forward as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree with the Fornals comment. He might, play him in a 3 in the middle just to nullify Spurs.
Yeah.
He won't make the same. I can't remember who started against Spurs, but he ain't going to make the same mistake again. And then we will play. We'll play like a 5-3. Let me not get my maths wrong. 5-3-1-1.
2. Yeah.
5-3-1-1 maybe. Yeah. 5-3-2. 5-3-1-1. Yeah.
I mean, loads of people coming in here giving us all different people for man of the match. People are saying Johnson. People are saying Fabianski. There was Lingard. But for me personally, I think for the fact that he drives the game from the front today. I mean, normally I would look at the defence more than anything. It's great we've got a clean sheet, but it's so nice to see West Ham pressing from the front, constantly pressing from the front, and the guy who offers us that threat, Matt, I think I said it in the first half in particular, when we don't have the ball, they feel threatened because Lingard is absolutely bringing West Ham forward all the time.
Exactly.
When we have the ball, Lingard is attacking forward, and therefore I've got to put Lingard in that man of the match position. I think he was so effective and so important to West Ham, and it's going to be so important to West Ham going forward. And as we've just said there, we've got Lingard, we've got Lanzini, we've got Fornals, we've got Benrahma, we've got Bowen. You know, we're talking about options here, and this is us not even talking about having a fit striker. We don't have a fit striker.
Who needs a striker?
Who needs a striker?
Got 3 goals today, mate. Who needs a centre forward?
Kenneth asked earlier, are we going to regret not signing a striker? And like Kenneth, actually, what we were saying in the match day live was that the goals are shared by quite a lot of the players in the squad. You know, defenders are scoring, midfielders are scoring, etc., etc. You know, and I know I do say it tongue in cheek, but at this present moment in time, I mean, we might come to regret it. Let's be honest. You know, it would be nice to have a striker that can score loads of goals, but at the moment, we're getting away without one, aren't we?
Absolutely, but we've named the options. Cayman is saying Rice is the engine of the side. The two players we've not even spoken about today is Souček and Rice, and they were again effective, but because there was other performances in the back of the defence and performances going forward, they were just like the silent assassins in the middle of the park, really, weren't they? So, yeah,
I don't want to say that they had a quiet game, otherwise you'll have a go at me. You know, so
I think they did their job.
They did their job.
They forced them down the line. You saw a couple of times in the first half, they tried to go through the middle of the pitch and they couldn't do it. And they just went, we ain't getting through that middle, we're going to have to go down the wings.
Do you think they did a job a bit like...
compliments to them.
Do you think they did a job a bit like Dawson? Which is what I said about 15 minutes ago.
No.
Are you still going on about that? Come on.
I just want to put the record straight,
He's going to come out in Australia soon. He keeps going. He's going further down that hole.
There's no hole. Just, you know. Oh, hang on a minute. So the two of you have now quoted about 4 players in the team that have done their job tonight. When I said that about Dawson, you were like up in arms. You're up in arms.
Listen, I mean, at the end of the day, we've walked out 3-0 victors.
Let's not forget Fabianski. Couple of decent saves.
You brought this back up. I was going to talk about this.
Yeah.
So we've conceded 3 less goals than Man United, right? That back 5 today. Ben Johnson's an academy kid. Creswell was 4 million. Dawson's 3 million, or Diop was 22 million, and Soufal was 5 million, right? Man United's back 4 the other day against West Brom. Luke Shaw cost 30 million. Lindelof cost 30 million. Bissaka cost 50 million. And Maguire cost 80 million. And we've conceded 3 less goals than that back 4. That's cost 160, 170, 80 million.
Yeah. Agreed, mate. Agreed.
Well, let's get on to our final thoughts. Look at Stel's face. He's like, what is Anton doing now? Putting all this stuff up. What's our final thoughts then? Stel, come on, over to you, mate.
Well, you're shit at presenting.
There we go. We'll just mute him. See, there we go again. Matt, over to you, mate. What's your final thoughts?
We you know what? I might have to start changing my tune. I might have to start coming these, you know, the pre-match game, pre-game, and stop slating the starting 11. I might have to start doing it because every week I come on here, I go, why has he picked him for? And then we win, and it's like, well, that's why I'm sitting here, and that's why David Moyes is the manager.
I want Anton to answer that question. How many runs did Jesse make tonight, Anton?
Mandy, I say week in and week out, I need to find a website that will give me all this information. I genuinely am interested.
You know what's coming up, don't you? You know what's coming up. I know what's coming up. Fucking so obvious. It's so obvious what's coming up next. Go on.
What?
One Football have teamed up with...
That wasn't me, that was you.
I know, because that's what you were going to do.
I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't. Listen, I'm talking about. I'd love to find a website that gives me all that information because I think Lingard.
I'm trying to find it.
That One Football doesn't. Are you saying one football doesn't?
Don't know, mate.
It's that stat,
Look
no.
up. Look seriously. Look up who scored. Not that I want to be in competition with one
Yeah, but
football.
I don't think it gives
who
you the
scored-
information that I'm looking for.
No,
Does.
even I can't find it. No, who's covered the most ground each game?
Who's
I
covered the
can't
most
find
ground
it.
in a game? I just want that. I just want all that kind of information.
Even Opta doesn't post that out every week.
Here is the stats for the end of the game. Obviously, West Ham won 3-0. West Ham had 13 shots to Sheffield United's 8. We had 9 on target to their 5. Possession was 45% to their 54%. You know, a good day at the office, professional day at the office, good performance.
There you go.
West Ham.
Macca. We're now being compared to Barcelona. That's how
Wow.
good a season we're having.
Wow.
Yeah. Played without a striker for a few years. They did all right. Champions League, here we come, boys.
Yep.
Here we come.
Absolutely.
You know,
Final thoughts, though, still.
I'm happy, really happy. What can you? All right, we're fifth because Chelsea are
Still.
winning 2-0.
Still, we can't hear you, mate.
Yes, you
One
can.
Football have teamed up with West Ham Irons United.
Sorry, mate. What was that?
One Football
Can't hear you.
have teamed up with West Ham Irons United in sponsoring our channel for the Matchday Live video.
Ah, right. Okay. Cheers. Sorry, still. So what was your final thoughts, mate?
I just want to comment on that. Debenham Dave. Final thoughts. Moyes better than Lyle? No. Until he wins us the FA Cup. No.
Go on, Alf.
Final thoughts. What can you say? All right, we were fourth for about 15 minutes, and now we're fifth. But who could argue on goal difference? Who could argue? I mean, seriously, what a great season! And Moyes has proven us wrong again, hasn't he?
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Absolutely, Matt.
I said I'm going to stop criticising these teams soon because when I come out and moan about it, we end up winning. It's like, I moaned about it today, and didn't like Lanzini, but I said 3-0 before the game. We won 3-0. Moyes is getting it right. Whether we like the whole lot, he might be getting little bits wrong, but is he still our best ever start to a Premier League season? 42 points from 23
in the Premier
games.
League. Yeah, in the Premier League it is.
Yeah.
I think he's just taken over. He's surpassed Bilic, isn't he now, in terms of best starts in the Premier League? Yeah.
So it's better than the last season at Upton Park.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is.
40. We've got 20. We've played 24 games. We've got 42 points. We're 4 points off second place. It's just it's madness. It's like 14 games to go. Like, I mean, again, another stat I like to look at into is how many points on average is Moyes getting per 4 or 5 games? You know,
I don't know the actual number, but in lockdown, when we was on Project Restart, we had that game where it was like, I think it might have been the Chelsea game. And it was like, if we don't win this game, he's going to be the worst. He'll have the worst win percentage ever. I think he's now at the top.
Right. Yeah.
I think he's at the top now for like the best win percentage as a West Ham manager.
Yeah.
For how well we've done this season, which is mental.
I like that comment.
I don't know what argument I lost though, Hornswoggle.
No, I don't. What
every single one of them.
Argument.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah,
Cheers, Matt.
well,
mate. Cheers.
God, take your tongue out of his bum, mate.
Still, do you want your notes for tomorrow or not? I'll chuck them in the bin now. I don't.
Do I want my
love
notes for
that.
tomorrow? What, the ones I've got on my laptop here?
Is that the ones he sent to you earlier on?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Listen,
right.
that brings an end to our highlights and words review video. West Ham, of course, beat Sheffield United 3-0 at home. And then, of course, you're going to be joining Still tomorrow for his West Ham Weekly. He decided that he was under the thumb and had to go on date night with his missus. Therefore, he is coming to you.
Instead of sitting up till 1 o'clock in the morning chatting to Russ. I mean, how odd is that?
Listen, I'm not going to lie, it is a little bit weird, but anyway. Still will be on tomorrow night. I don't know what time you're starting at. Still 8, half 8, 9, half 9, 10, 10:15.
I have no idea. It depends on what time I finish work. Some of us have got to
Is your
work
mic
for a
getting
living.
switched on when you start as well? You can do 10 minutes of silence.
Probably not.
first.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I'll probably do about half an hour without the mic on, and
Zach,
the
yes, they have,
camera skewed and stuff like that. So
Yes, they have. Listen, also tune in for like we said, Stell's got the West Ham Weekly. Alf did a West Ham Confidential. I think Alf will be back with his Monday videos. It sounds like, is that right, Stell? I think he's maybe found a slot available with his.
We're
live.
hoping so. We're hoping so. Yeah.
Yep.
So what day did we play Spurs?
Oh, it's a good point.
If you don't know.
Let's have a quick.
Told you, people, we are not professional. Let's have a look at the when someone's going to tell it by the time
Sunday
we look it up.
lunchtime. Sunday lunchtime.
Sunday lunchtime. Yeah.
So we'll have Saturday night.
What did I do before Fan Channel? I used to go to games, Eamon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go to the games.
He used to
Can't
go to the
wait to
sports
get
club
back
and
to the
turn up
game.
2 hours after everyone else. So you didn't have to buy any rounds of drinks.
I don't think you quite worked out that it's only you guys I don't bother buying drinks for.
No. We've worked out with the group of people that we speak to, and everyone has to comment and goes, "Where's that tight bastard going?"
Or it's where he
Says
goes.
the Scott.
Oh,
Says the Scott.
we'll be there at 12, right? So everyone else gets there at like 12 o'clock. Still,
Oh, I never get
just
there on
15
time.
minutes away. 2:15, we're all leaving to go to the stadium, and still walks around.
But listen.
Yeah,
If you
I never get there on time.
If
There's
you
no
want
point
to
getting
come
there
to
on
this
time.
when it's open, if you want to come to the supporters club, this is the still that we see.
One Football have teamed up with West Ham Mines United.
Not this still. This. Listen. Thanks for watching. Make sure you comment. He's deleted it, but don't worry, mate. I've got copies. I've got copies left, right, and centre. Don't you worry. Join us tomorrow night.
Kevin
for the West
reckons
Ham.
we're on Saturday. We're not. We're on Sunday, aren't we?
Sunday.
No, it's Sunday lunchtime.
But Saturday will be the preview for the Tottenham game. We'll do another giveaway on Sunday for the Tottenham game, and join Still tomorrow for the West Ham Weekly. And then
Crazy, join me tomorrow and you can agree with more of my comments. Thank you, mate.
But anyway, thanks for watching. I've been Anton. He's been Still. He's been Matt. This is West Ham Irons United. Subscribe, comment, and like. Come on, you Irons. He's not going to say bye now.
Oh, yeah, bye. See you. Thank you all. See you tomorrow. Join me tomorrow.